the great planet Earth. This is Marqus Mars with co-host Ula Stach. Welcome to Marqus Mars Talent Show. We are presenting here the global new stars of new era, the creative talents from our region of Milky Way galaxy. Welcome and have a nice day.
Marqus Mars Talent Show.
Witamy ponownie w nowych odcinkach programu Marqus Mars Talent Show. Jesteśmy na statku 5D Earth Victory, jeśli w to uwierzysz. Plan jest taki. Będziemy przedstawiać talenty, które znaleźliśmy na internecie. Są to znakomite nowe materiały na nowe gwiazdy w nowej epoce. Będziemy przedstawiać na początku ich małe intro, tak jak teraz to robię, po czym przedstawimy ich własne materiały, które zrobili na YouTube lub w innych miejscach, jak klipy, muzyki, sztuki i wokalne i inne. Następnie będziemy się z nimi kontaktować przez Skype'a i prowadzić krótki wywiad, a w trzeciej kolejności będziemy ich zapraszać na naszą scenę i będą tam wykonywać swoją sztukę i swoje dzieła na scenie, na żywo. Tak więc zapraszamy, a na początek poezja.
Sailing Effortlessly, original poetry by CC Poetry Now. We set sail while favourable wind beckons. We set sail right now, right where we are. We set sail beyond all ideas, beyond who we think we are, crossing all horizons, passing out of view. We set sail into silence, into deep and simple silence, into truth of who we are. Now, in the ceasing of all activity, we are spirit moving us, air breathing us, fire warming us, water sustaining us, earth grounding us. Effortlessly, we are all empty space, teeming with life. Effortlessly, peace that is always present, joy that is ever new. Sailing effortlessly, we are love, simply one with being, boundless, free.
prezentujemy kolejnego znakomitego gitarzystę. Jego pseudonim jest dr Viossy. Zajmuje się on muzyką rockową, progresywnie rockową i łączy to z klasyką jak Beethoven. W tym klipie będzie wykonywał on sonatę Beethovena, bardzo trudny utwór trwający ponad 8 minut, w którym trzeba się naprawdę nagimnastykować, żeby wykonać to dzieło nutę w nutę i jemu się to udało. W każdym razie jesteśmy ciekawi, jakie będą jego następne kroki, bo jak wiadomo, muzyka jest skompromitowana osobowościami takimi jak Lady Gaga i tym podobne. I on stoi na rozdrożu, czy chce grać prawdziwą muzykę, czy będzie się kompromisował. Tak więc życzymy mu wytrwałości w rock'n'rollu i niech się przyłączy do rewolucyjnej muzyki. Zapraszamy na dr Viossy. Tu przedstawiamy młodą wokalistkę operową o pseudonimie Laura Sings. Młoda dziewczyna ma znakomitą barwę i technikę. Wykonuje tutaj fragmenty utworu z 5 elementu, te najtrudniejsze fragmenty utworu, które były wykonywane tam na statku powietrznym. Ten fragment został skomponowany na klawiszach samplowanych wokalnie, a ona potrafi to nota w notę przepięknie wyśpiewać ze swobodą motyla. Jesteśmy ciekawi i życzymy jej, aby znalazła kompozytora, który napisze dla niej pod jej głos operę o naszych czasach. A w międzyczasie zapraszamy na Laura Sings.
Since my name is Disney Diva 7, I ought to sing the Diva song from the Fifth Element. I only chose to do the last part of it because the first part of the song is an actual aria, which would take a lot of time to learn, and I used to do this when I was a little bit younger, so just thought I'd sing it for you now. But I used the real good equipment so that you can actually hear it in good quality. Anyway, enjoy.
Tu po raz kolejny przedstawiamy Onion News. Jest to telewizja komediowa ze Stanów Zjednoczonych. Tym razem na swój cel wybrali oni aktora Russela Crowe'a, którego uważają, że jego brak talentu do śpiewania i grania absolutnie genialnie pasuje do filmu Nędznicy, bo właśnie tam jest aktor na planie, który nie powinien dobrze śpiewać i dobrze grać. Tak więc kwintesencją tego klipu jest to właśnie stwierdzenie. Zapraszamy.
Coming up next, Kellogg's introduces new unweeded frosted mini wheats for people who only want frosting. But first, in entertainment news, Les Mis hit theaters over the holidays, and critics are buzzing about Russel Crowe's stunningly realistic portrayal of a man who has no singing or acting talent whatsoever. The Australian star spoke to Entertainment Weekly about his go-for-broke interpretation of the cruel prison guard Javert. Quote, I saw him as a man who is completely devoted to the law and has never had formal voice training or performance experience. And the bold choice has certainly paid off with fans of the cherished musical.
Oh, well, in the Broadway version, Javert is this, like, amazing singer and an awesome actor, but that doesn't make any sense, you know? So I loved this.
Oh man, like Russell Crowe totally disappeared into that role. hardly recognize him when all that off-key singing.
Joining us now is Onion News Network Hollywood correspondent Carly Margolis. Carly, the Academy must be watching closely here.
Absolutely. He is terrible.
Is this right? Russel Crowe reportedly lost a significant amount of talent to play this role?
But that's not all. Sources say he never broke character on set, behaving like a hack singer and actor even between takes. The cast and crew treated him the entire time as if he really was uninteresting to watch and painful to listen to.
Yeah, I couldn't stand it.
Me neither.
And now, director Tom Hooper, he was very innovative with the way he recorded Mr. Crowe's horrid singing live on set. Is that right?
Yes, it really gives the audience the feeling of being right there with the character as he fails to entertain.
Yeah, it's excruciating. Amazing film.
Marqus Mars, Talents Show.
Tu przedstawiamy postać genialnego wynalazcy i prawdziwego naukowca Nikola Tesla. No jest on jakby zapomniany, że tak powiem, specjalnie w książkach do nauki jakiejkolwiek fizyki lub tych innych rzeczy, no bo Tesla był genialny i był takie wynalazki, o których się jeszcze ludziom nie śniło. W Stanach w tym momencie powstaje specjalne muzeum na jego cześć. Ludzie zebrali około 1 500 000, aby jego miejsce, w których prowadził badania, zostało odnowione i będą tam pokazywane jego wynalazki. A wynalazł on wolną energię, wszystkie rzeczy, które produkują prąd i wynalazł także UFO. Tak więc polecamy poszukanie więcej na jego temat, a teraz prezentacja z różnych stron Nikola Tesla.
Almost a century ago, one of history's greatest inventors had a dream to provide free wireless energy from a mysterious tower and lab on the east coast of Long Island called Wardenclyffe. For decades, the remains of his great dream have deteriorated and were almost lost forever. Until, that is, a grateful world united to save it. Join us as we explore the past, present and future of the historic site where Nikola Tesla imagined a better world. Tower to the people. Tesla's dream at Wardenclyffe continues.
Nikola Tesla, one of the great inventors of our time. At age 35, his invention of the Tesla coil in 1891 was the forefront of his vision for achieving worldwide wireless distribution of electricity.
Energy belongs to everyone, everywhere. Will be no wars if we have free energy. People live way healthier life. Energy is God's gift and belongs to all of us. Free communications for everyone, everywhere. Everyone, everywhere. Everyone, everywhere. Everyone, everywhere. Everyone, everywhere.
Nikola Tesla was a great inventor and a great humanitarian. Well, Tesla wanted to get into his field, which was free, if you will, energy that comes from the surroundings. He was hired by J.P. Morgan to work with Westinghouse and Edison companies and on the East Coast. And Tesla said, I've got it made. I think we can now transmit electrical power through the Earth, through the ionosphere, without any wires or telephone poles. If you gave a device, like a free energy device, a generator that would service all their needs in their home for free, they could then bring out their creative talents, which they were born with and have been suppressed because they've had to toil for a living. They could be tremendous artists beyond our dreams, tremendous engineers beyond our dreams. J.P. Morgan was not buying it. He said, no, we're going to have to tear this stuff down. So Tesla kind of pulled back into himself and decided, well, I guess it's not time for this. Well, at that time, he was living in the New Yorker Hotel, actually, in New York. And there was a fellow by the name of Otis Carr who he's going to school, and to supplement his income, he worked as a clerk in this hotel. And Tesla and him became acquainted, and Carr was a sponge. He loved science in every way, shape, or form, but he was a natural science. He believed in the same thing Tesla did, that there's no limits to natural science, and everything should be on a simple level. Tesla said, they're not interested in my time. I want you to take everything I can teach you and go in your time and see if they'll listen to you. And if you don't make it, you're going to have to pass it on, because at the rate we're going, we're on a self-destructive course. Carr said, I will, and he got his own lab started and started really getting into a lot of free energy devices and building them.
So he built a spaceship?
Mm-hmm. He's building small spaceships then, and he had different sizes, different models. He put in a patent for a levitation device, and they wouldn't give him the patent. He said, you've got to pull that levitation out and anchor it on the ground, and we'll give you a patent on an amusement device. You cannot use levitation.
How long did it take to develop this craft?
Day and night, 24/7, we were building these small prototypes, and they would range anywhere from 12 inches to 3 feet to 6 feet, to, in size.
And they actually flew. They actually levitated.
Oh, yeah.
And what was the source of the power?
Well, it was magnetic in nature. And
you were actually building these for people to sit in. I mean, not just models.
These were prototypes just to prove what we wanted, and then graduate up to where human habitation could get on board and operate them.
If you could explain to us very simply how this device, how these craft work.
In those days, we had counter-rotating wheels, one going clockwise and another going counterclockwise. We had a capacitor, we had small magnets, and we had what's called a U-tron. It was a double tetrahedron. That's 2 ice cream cones put with the open ends together so that you have a diamond shape. And we had 12 of them around the periphery of the craft. And we had magnets, horseshoe magnets, 12 of those around the craft. So when you started rotating and counter-rotating, as these neutrons went through the field, they would act as a generator and a capacitor in themselves, and they would generate a lot of power, not necessary electrical power, but vibrational power. When you get to the resonant frequency of your surroundings, it cancels everything out. It goes to a 0 point. And once you've reached 0 point, then you can go anywhere you want. And you have your own force field around the craft.
Ralph, can you tell us about your experience as being the co-pilot of one of these discs?
Sure. The next stage up was the 45-foot craft. They had already designed and built it, and they wanted us to test it. So we got on board, and near the center of the craft was a giant crystal ball in a kind of a gyroscopic holder. Underneath that was a laser that came up through the bottom of this crystal. And as the light came up and dispersed around this crystal, it lit up the crystal from infrared all the way around to ultraviolet. And then Carr said, okay guys, what I want you to do is just clear your brain and use your mind. So this is an experiment. And we're going to go outside and back in through what's known as time and space. And all you have to do is concentrate on what I'm about to tell you. We're going to go down range 10 miles. And that 10 miles downrange is equated to the vibratory rate of the color aquamarine. The colors just kind of dissolved and started turning into this brilliant aquamarine. And it lit up the whole ship. And then he said, okay, that's it, boys. Get out of the craft and we're going to debriefing. And we looked at each other like, oh, I don't think it worked. We didn't go anywhere. We didn't do anything. He said, why don't you guys empty your pockets? And we started pulling out sticks and stones and grass and stuff and putting them on the table. And I know we didn't have those going in. And where in the heck did this come from? And he said, well, you remember I told you about the brain has a limited capacity. It cannot believe beyond its jurisdiction. It doesn't want to believe anything beyond that. So you traveled with your mind, and it will come back to you, and then all these dots will be filled in as your life progresses. You'll remember what you did. It was, in retrospect, I did go back now, and I do remember going and getting out of the craft. There was 3 of us. We walked down this ramp. We got out and we went over to a little hillside. I can see it right now. We picked up rocks and sticks, put them in our pockets, and we got back on board. I remember it now, but I didn't remember it then.
It sounds like this technology is something that we have to be spiritually advanced enough to be able to use it.
And Carr explained that as higher consciousness. He said, you've got to raise the consciousness.
When you were operating this disc, did you notice or were you told that anything changed as far as the structure of the craft?
There's a consistent expansion and contraction. It's almost so instantaneous that it's unnoticeable. And in one of the smaller demonstrations, we had a small model, aluminum model, and I could hear this hum, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful feeling while this thing was running, and I was touching it, and then it got more and more intense, and then I found like it was jello, and I could put my fingers on it like jello, and I looked at the other guys, and then I put my fingers inside this aluminum with my hand. I said, this is impossible, but I'm doing this, and I put it in and out of the craft. And Carr was over there because he said, you're energy, and that's energy. And when you understand that, and you get a harmonic with energy, you get a balance, you can do anything. There's no limit. So the next day, I fired this one up, and we were all watching it, and I was getting ready to put my hand in it, and whew, the whole thing disappeared right in front of us. He said it's quite simple. Tesla did this all the time in his laboratory, and it's teleported. And he explained that the mind, when you tune yourself high enough and you get into the mind space instead of the brain space, instead of logic or instead of reasoning or instead of all those things, you just get up to a sense of knowing. You know who and what you are, that you're a creative, immortal, infinite being, and we all are.